Hello viewers, if you are new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button and share it with your friends. Also, click on the bell icon so that you get the latest information about the videos that are uploaded. Hello students, welcome back to the new video. In this video, we are going to continue the ongoing chapter number 1, crop production and management. In today's session, we will discuss the last two agricultural practices, harvesting and storage. Now, we will discuss about the harvesting process. It is the process of cutting and collecting the mature crop from the field. It can be done manually using sickle or by a machine called a harvester. The harvested crop has the grains attached to the chaff and they have to be separated. This process of separating the grains from the chaff is known as threshing. So students, we have already learned what are the different processes that has to be done for growing a crop. So the final step is harvesting. Harvesting is the process of cutting and collecting the matured crop from the field. So this process, that is harvesting, can be done manually using sickle or by a machine called a harvester. And the harvester is the machine that can be used effectively for the process of harvesting. The harvested crop has the grains attached to the chaff. So we are cutting the plant and the grains are attached to that chaff. That also is to be separated from the chaff. The process of separating the grains from the chaff is known as threshing. Threshing can be done manually by beating the harvested crops on a hard surface or by letting animals such as buffaloes walk over them. In large farms, a machine called thresher is used. A modern farm machine called combine does both harvesting and threshing functions. So we have seen that the grains are attached to the chaff. It is to be separated. And this process of separating the grains from the chaff is known as threshing. Threshing is done manually by beating it over a hard surface, or it can be done using or with the help of animals such as buffaloes also. We allow the buffaloes to walk over the cut crops spread over a surface. But in large farms, it is done with the help of a machine. Do you know the name of that machine? It is called a thresher. The name has got from the name of the process. Okay. Now, there is another modern farm machine that is called combine, which can do both harvesting and threshing functions together. So what is combine? It is a modern farm machine that can do both harvesting and threshing functions together. The grain has to be separated from the husk and is done by the process of winnowing. So we have seen that by threshing method, we are separating the grains from the chaff. But it may contain or it contains many lighter particles called a husk, and the grains has to be separated from this husk. For this, we use the process of winnowing. What do we do in this method? In winnowing method, the grains are dropped from a height. As the grains are heavier, they fall straight to the ground, while the husk, being lighter, blow away and form a separate heap at some distance. So actually this method you have already learned in 6th standard. Okay. In this method, that is in the winnowing method, the grains are dropped from a height. You know that grains are much heavier than the husk. So the grains being heavier fall down straight to the ground, while the husk, which is lighter, form a separate heap at some distance. So what is winnowing, or how can we define winnowing? Winnowing is the process of separating the lighter husk from the heavier grains. In this method, it is allowed to form two different heaps. Now we will see the connection of harvest and festivals. So it is known as harvest festivals. In India, the major festivals are linked to the agriculture. You have already learned that the farmers has to do a lot of hard work for months together. So after the hard work for 3 to 4 months, when the day comes to harvest or to cut their crops, they become very happy. The sight of golden fields of standing crop laden with grain fills the hearts of farmers with joy and a sense of well-being. The efforts of the past season have borne fruit, and it is time to relax and enjoy a little. The period of harvest is thus a great joy and happiness in all parts of India. So during this time, when they see the crops growing and when it is a time to cut and harvest their crops, they become very happy. So men and women celebrate it with great enthusiasm, and special festivals are celebrated or associated with the harvest season. Let us see which are they. These harvest festivals are Pongal, Baishagi, Holi, Diwali, Nabanya, Bihu, Onam, etc. Now we will discuss about the storage of food crops. Most crop plants are seasonal, meaning they are stored and supplied as and when required. Cereals and pulses can be stored for a much longer time as compared to the fruits and vegetables, which have a shorter shelf life. Cereals and grains are dried properly in sunlight before storing. So we have seen what are the steps for growing a crops. So after the harvesting, it is very important to store the crop plants in a proper way, because most crop plants are seasonal. That is, they are grown only in a particular season. So these harvested crops have to be stored to supply as and when required. These cereals and pulses, which can be stored for a longer time compared to fruits and vegetables. See, the fruits and vegetables are considered as easily perishable foods. They have a shorter shelf life. Shelf life means the time period for which these fruits and vegetables can be stored and can be used or sold in the market. Cereals and grains are dried properly in sunlight before storing, so that any content of water is lost. Any moisture content in the grains can lead to the growth of microorganisms and molds and can destroy the entire produce. So we have seen that before storing, the grains and pulses must be dried in the sunlight. Why is it so important to dry? Because even if a little bit of moisture content is there in the grain, that can lead to the growth of microorganisms. And these microorganisms and molds can destroy the entire crops, entire produce. They are stored in gunny bags made of jute or in metallic bins. Dried neem leaves are also added to the grains to keep away insects and worms. So after drying in the sunlight for some time, they are stored in gunny bags, that is the bags made of jute, or in metallic bins, that is the big boxes made up of metals. Dried neem leaves are also added to the grains as a preservative to keep away insects and worms. You have already learned or know that the neem leaves can be used as a preservative. It has got medicinal value. So the dried neem leaves kept in the metallic bins or in the bags keep the insects and worms away from the grains. Large gunny bags filled with grains are stored in godowns or granaries and in grain silos. The granaries have to be neat, clean and free from moisture with proper doors to prevent the entry of rats. They have to be checked periodically to avoid loss of grains. They are also fumigated regularly to ensure better storage. So after filling the crops, that is grains, in the gunny bags, where do we keep them? It is stored in the godowns or in granaries and in grain silos. So these granaries must be very neat and clean, and they must be free from moisture, and also we should make sure that there is no gap in the doors or windows so that the rats enter in the room or in the granaries, because the rats, once if it enters into the granaries, they can spoil the complete storage of food crops. They have to be checked periodically to avoid the loss of grains, and also these godowns and granaries must be fumigated regularly to ensure better storage. What does fumigation means? Fumigation means spraying of the medicines, that is chemicals which can kill any kind of insects or small animals like rats that enter into the granaries. So fumigation is also done periodically to ensure the better storage of grains. Cold storage is used to store fruits and vegetables. It increases shelf life and retains their nutritive value for longer periods. So we have seen that grains can be stored in gunny bags and they are kept in the godowns or granaries. But fruits and vegetables, who are very easily perishable foods, cannot be stored in such places. Then where do we keep them? We keep them in the cold storage. So the fruits and vegetables kept in the cold storage are having more shelf life. Shelf life means the period for which it can be used safely, and also it retains their nutritive value for longer periods, and it also stops the action of enzymes and prevents their spoilage. Meat, fish, eggs and various dairy products are also stored in this way. So apart from fruits and vegetables, the animal foods like meat, fish, eggs and other dairy products are also stored in the cold storage. Students, have you heard about the Food Corporation of India, FCI? What is its function? Let us find out. The Food Corporation of India, that is FCI, buys excess food grains such as rice, wheat and pulses produced in the different states of India and stores it in huge granaries. So this type of reserve of food is known as buffer stock. See students, we have seen that most of the cereals and pulses are seasonal. That is, they grow in a particular season only. But we have to get the food in all seasons. So how is it possible? For this FCI, that is Food Corporation of India, buys the excess food that is produced in the different states of India and stores in the very big granaries. Okay, and these are distributed in places where the yield is poor and among the poorer sections of the society at very nominal rate. So the Food Corporation of India buys this excess stock and store in the granaries and distribute in the poor areas, that is the where the yield is very poor or the poorer sections of the society at very nominal or very reduced price. And it also helps to overcome the shortage of grains during natural calamities such as earthquakes, cyclones and floods. See children, now we are facing a very great calamity. What is that? The cyclone we have already faced and also the corona. During this time, the Food Corporation of India has played a great role in fulfilling the need of foods in various sections. So, Punjab is known as the India's bread basket or the granary of India. Do you know why? Because most part of the grains are produced in Punjab. So students, I hope you have understood the topics very well. But still, if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. I will surely try to solve it as early as possible. Here are some review questions. Please solve it in your notebook. Thank you.